All right, today we're talking about a completely new kind of AI. This isn't about getting answers to questions. It's about getting an AI that actually does the work for you. We're going to dive into how this new digital employee can totally change the game for your business.
So let's start with this one simple question because it really changes everything. For years, right, we've used AI to get information, maybe some suggestions, a good starting point. But what if the AI could take that starting point and just run with it all the way to the finish line? That's the huge shift we're looking at today.
So, meet Manus AI. And you got to think of it less like a piece of software and more like a brand new intern you just hired. It actually works inside your web browser, opening tabs, clicking on buttons, filling out forms for you. It's basically this tireless digital employee that works around the clock, never calls in sick, and get this, it only costs $39 a month, an absolute fraction of what you'd pay a person. And this right here is the key difference. A traditional chatbot like ChatGPT, it tells you how to do something. It gives you a text response. But an AI agent like Manus, it's totally different. You give it a task, and it just does it. The output isn't a block of text. It's a finished product, a completed action.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at how this AI can actually build things without any code. Then, we'll dive into automating your entire marketing machine, scaling up your operations, and we'll wrap up by talking about this critical AI adoption gap that is forming as we speak.
All right, first up, let's talk about building stuff without writing a single line of code. We are literally talking about projects that used to cost thousands of dollars and take weeks, and now they can get done in the time it takes you to eat lunch.
We all know the old drill, right? If you wanted to build a website, you had to find a freelancer or an agency, and then brace yourself for weeks of emails, back and forth, endless revisions, and just frustrating delays. It was always slow and always expensive. And the cost? Phew, you're talking $3, $5, even $10,000 for a custom website. I mean, that is a huge investment, especially if you're a small business. But with an AI like this, that entire cost, it pretty much vanishes.
But the new way? It's ridiculously simple. The founder of the company talks about his friend Stephanie, who is not technical at all. She built a website she'd been putting off for ages while she was on vacation in Mexico. All she did was talk to the AI, describe what she wanted, and then give it simple feedback like, hey, make that call to action button bigger. And the AI just did it instantly.
And if you think that's impressive for websites, just wait till you hear about custom apps. The difference here is even crazier. Building an app can cost tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The founder actually spent $250,000 on an app back in his 20s. Insane. Now you can build a working prototype in under an hour for just a tiny, tiny fraction of that cost.
Okay, next up, let's tackle another huge area for any business, marketing. We're talking about going from that dreaded blank page to a full, active pipeline of content and leads.
Oh man, every single business owner, every marketer knows this feeling all too well. Just staring at that blank screen, the cursor blinking, with all this pressure to come up with new, clever ideas every single day. It's totally exhausting, and it's why so many of us are inconsistent with our marketing.
You know, the old way, you're sinking 12, maybe 15 hours a month, just trying to plan our content. And a lot of it is just guesswork. With an AI agent, you can tell it to go research the top-performing content in your entire industry and then build you a data-driven 30-day calendar. We're talking complete with hooks and captions in about 15 minutes. It's not just faster, it's way, way smarter. There's this fantastic quote from Andy Grove, the legendary founder of Intel, "Only the paranoid survive." And he was so right. He knew that to stay on top, you have to know exactly what your competition is up to. And today, that same idea can be your biggest strategic weapon. I mean, this kind of deep dive research, this used to be a 10 or 20-hour job for a whole team. Now, you just feed the AI a list of your competitors, and it will go out and scrape their websites, read their customer reviews, and analyze their ad campaigns. And in about 30 minutes, it spits out this incredible spreadsheet that shows you exactly where you can zig where they zag. All right, let's shift gears to scaling your actual business operations. This is all about automating that tedious, time-consuming work that really holds your business back. And we'll start with how you find great people. Hiring can feel like a total black hole, right? You post a job, you get flooded with applications, and suddenly you're burning 15, 20, 25 hours just digging through a mountain of resumes. And the worst part? By the time you find the really great candidates, they've already taken another job.
Well, this is where Manus just completely flips the script. Instead of you waiting for people to apply, it becomes your personal recruiter. You just describe your perfect candidate, and it actively goes out and scans platforms like LinkedIn to find and rank people that are a perfect fit. It even drafts personalized messages to them so you're connecting with top talent while you're literally sleeping. And hey, what about finding new customers? Lead generation. Manually building a lead list is what the source calls soul-crushing work, and it is. It's 30 to 50 hours of mind-numbing copy and paste. With an AI agent, you just describe your ideal customer, and it builds the entire list for you in maybe an hour or two.
So this chart really puts the new workflow into perspective. Look at this. You spend a tiny bit of time on the initial prompt and a little bit of time on the final review. The AI is doing 90% of the heavy lifting, all the research, the list building, and even drafting those personalized outreach emails. So, what does all of this actually mean for you in your business? Well, it points to a really critical moment we're in right now. We're not waiting for some AI revolution to happen in the future. We are in the middle of it, and a huge gap is forming between the businesses that use these tools and those that don't. So let's just recap for a second what this all means. With just one tool and with zero code, you can build websites and apps in minutes instead of months. You can generate a month's worth of data-driven marketing content. You can get a complete analysis of all of your competition, and you can automate hiring and lead generation. The savings in both time and money are just staggering. And that brings us to the hard reality of where we are today. As the source material puts it so well, the gap between people who use AI and people who are still just talking about it, well, that gap is getting bigger and bigger every single day. The question is no longer if you should adopt AI, it's how fast can you do it?
Look, at the end of the day, the tools to build, to market, and to scale your business faster and cheaper than ever before, they are no longer on the horizon. They are here. They are available right now. And so the only real question left is, which side of that gap are you going to be on?